Planes and flight are both fascinating subjects, but so are all of the aspects of flight beyond simply flying, which is why we brought in a pilot to compare commercial and private flying.
Hello, my name is Dwayne Lewis, and I am a proud parent of a 2026 Metro graduate, and I am a professional pilot. This is why I'm here. I was asked to tell just a little bit about my commercial and professional life. I started flying when I was 15 years old, so if you do the math, I've been flying for about 35 years. I've been flying professionally since 1997. Probably my biggest cultural adjustments between the two styles of flying. The airlines are very structured. You typically knew what your routes were going to be, what days you're working, what times you're working. For a full month at a time, you kind of figured that out a couple weeks before the month even started. You kind of had some flexibility to mold how your schedule was going to be. A lot of things were taken care of you for as far as dispatching the aircraft, scheduling of crews, where you were going to stay for your overnights, that type of stuff. Once you get into the private world, you have a much more personal relationship with your clients. Your schedule can be pretty, what I would consider not very scheduled at all. Non-traditional is probably the term for it. And it becomes much more encompassing as a private pilot. You have most of your dispatch responsibilities. I personally take care of the aircraft, making sure that all of the maintenance is done, all of the trip stuff is going to be ready, such as tires, oxygen, avionics, subdates, that type of stuff. So the scope of my work is much larger as a private pilot. However, I fly a lot less as a private pilot, where I may have flown 80 to 100 hours a month as a commercial airline guy. I really probably only fly somewhere between 15 and 25 hours a month as a private aviation guy, and those are for sure the biggest differences within the profession. So, if my advice to young people looking to get into the profession be one, go ahead and start taking some lessons. You can do that fairly early. As I said earlier, I did it at 15. There's people who've even done it earlier than that. That is on the early side, but go ahead and make sure that you enjoy flying, because that is, the bulk of what you're going to be doing. And if it is something you want to do, go ahead and jump in. You can do your flight training can be different from your school training. You can do a college program that's not related to aviation and still train and get your license and that type of stuff. The earlier you start with anything, the better it's going to be. If you do choose to go to the airlines, your seniority number is everything. It dictates what airplane you're going to fly, what base you're going to have, what your schedule is going to be like, what your pay grade is going to be like. So the earlier you get one of those, the better. If you're going to do the private side, such as I have, it's really a networking thing. First of all, you can need to be a people person, because you are intimately involved usually with the principals, we call them, on our aircraft. So in a lot of instances, I may know and have regular conversation with the CEO of a large publicly traded company that employees who've worked there for 25 years would never directly talk to them. So you have to be a people person, and then you have to present that you're very, very safe and conscientious pilot. In that world, anything that they would suspect that you're not doing the most safe role, they'll sniff it out, and you'll be on the streets pretty quickly. You don't have a lot of protection in that type of job.